Hey, welcome to Ask Me Too, a platform for you. ASD, where you can discover, you can learn, you can give, you can take, you can pass it on. But the main thing is it's an environment for people that suspect that they may have autistic spectrum disorder. A lot of times it was formerly known as Asperger's. It's not known as that anymore. This is a space for you. So if you enjoy this content, if it's something that's interesting to you, hit that subscribe button, introduce it to other people, participate, lean in, and make this your channel. Okay, so today what we're going to do is we're going to go through 18 symptoms, if you will, of ASD. Before we get started, a couple of things. We are brand new. And we are here for you. If you find a passion for this the way that I have a passion for this, to let people know, to help people before I got helped, to make sure that testing for this becomes mainline, just like testing for whether we have 5 toes or 5 fingers. And I think if you feel that I need help with this, right? So YouTube and the platform that we're using, which is primarily YouTube, advertising on some of the other social media sites, but primarily YouTube. But even the advertising part, if you have any treasure, time, or talent that you can provide to this platform, please do it. And over time, we will develop and create a community that will have helpful videos, interviews with doctors and psychologists, people that specialize in neuro differences. We will have, we'll take care of relationship problems. We'll take care of somebody who's feeling like they may have ASD, but they're not sure how to approach it with their doctor, or they're not even sure how to approach it. And then we'll talk a lot about me and kind of what I've gone through. But today we're going to talk about these 18 different aspects or symptoms of Asperger's. The first one is difficulty making conversation. So keep in mind that not every single person on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, is the same. Now, you can't have just a little bit of autism, and you can't have a lot of autism. So everyone has the same. It's autism across the spectrum, period. What happens on that spectrum and how it impacts us is different for everyone. They say if you've met one person with ASD, you've met one person with ASD. In other words, they're all different. And so this is really, really, really important to recognize that you don't need to be exactly like these 18, but you need to find some familiarity in the majority of these 18. So the first one is difficulty making conversation. Just sitting on an airplane with someone next to you, any of those, in uncomfortable situations, in comfortable situations, it's just making conversation can sometimes be difficult. For me, it's small talk. It's like, I have absolutely to me, there's no value in my head for small talk. There's no value. So I go right to the meat, and that's very interruptive to people. We'll find out as we talk about my situation. So the other one is difficulty making or maintaining close friendships. I don't understand friendships. Now, I have friends that I've had for my entire life. I'm 57, and I've had friends that I've had for my entire life. But as I look at them and actually put them through a definition of friendship, they're friends in my heart, but there is no friendship relationship. Like, in order to get them to engage in the relationship, I have to reach out to them. No one's reaching out to me to say, how are you doing, or what's up, or what's that. I do have one friend that tried to reach out for a long time, but he has a phone that doesn't match with my phone, and long story. But so Difficulty making or maintaining close friendships. So I have a long list of friends that are not my friends anymore because of things that I've done. Flat out. So difficulty making or maintaining close friendships. Comfort during eye contact. So you'll notice that I'm looking at the camera, and I try to look at the camera all the time. I do that because I was actually taught at a very young age to do that. So I was pulled aside with a group of kids that were also rambunctious, as I was in school. And we met this certain person who was very calming and easy to talk to. I'm sure it was some kind of a psychologist or a counselor. And the only thing I took from all those meetings that we had with that person was that eye contact is really important. And so I have learned, I force myself to do eye contact. Now, the problem is I don't think I do it right. I think I do too much of it, but I don't know. But no, eye contact does not come naturally for me. It's just, that's not something that I need to have or want to have until I understand who or what I'm talking to. Discomfort during eye contact is what we just talked about. Challenges with regulating emotions. So, I'm just going to say you go from 0 to 100 like nothing. You go from 100 to 0 like nothing. We'll talk about that a lot. Extreme interest in one particular topic. So hyper-focusing on one particular topic. It may be a broad topic, like mine is U.S. politics, government. I guess mine could be more defined as urban economics or social economics instead of politics. Politics just seems to overwhelm that in this country. And I focus on that. I focus on that very hard. And it's what entertains me. It's what I do. And you might have something that you do. So extreme interest in one particular topic is something that happens with people with ASD. Frequent monologues on the same subject or subjects. You can hear in how I'm talking now. I mean, I can really, really go on about a subject and I can go on it's very important for me to communicate in black and white. Like, it's very important for me to communicate. In other words, I know right now that you're sitting somewhere on your phone or on your computer watching me talking right now, which I may have recorded years ago. Today's the 1st of June, 2022. My monologues, you can hear in the way that I talk. It's very important for me that people understand the facts, and I will talk until I believe that people understand the facts. And it's annoying. It's a relationship killer. It's a job killer. It's pay attention to this one. Frequent monologues on the same subject or subjects. Big one for me. Hypersensitivity to sounds or smells that do not seem to bother others. So I'm not sure how this would impact you, but for me, my nose is amazing. Like I'm not kidding you. I'm just not kidding you. There have been times where there's been times where I've smelled something that no one else can smell, and they think I'm absolutely crazy. And then I find what was causing the odor, and it was like, here it is. But yeah, I have an amazing hypersensitivity to sounds and smells. It just loud sounds are just really bad for me. They just immediately put me into defense mode. and some of those don't seem to bother other people. So that's one thing. So hypersensitivity to sounds or smells that do not seem to bother others. Okay, involuntary noises such as repetitive throat clearing. I do that, but so those of you that are watching this understand masking, right? So somebody with ASD will mask to fit into society, into their world. And that masking is very important. And it happens without them even knowing it's happening. It's not like they wake up one day and say, how to build a mask. It's just that in order to survive, so the constant pressure on you that says that you're not normal, the constant pressure on you to survive, you create a mask. And in that mask, you learn that your noises that you make or your repetitive behaviors that you make are not, like, people think that's weird. And so you learn to fight against that. Now, I will say, you know how we talk about carbon budgets, carbon, allotments or carbon credits and all of that, trying to balance what our carbon footprints are. If you talked about energy inside of someone's head with ASD and how much energy we spend masking, it would be out of this world. That's why we're tired. That's why we're tired all the time, because every minute of every day we're masking when we're with other people. And when we're at least I am. So involuntary noises such as repetitive throat clearing, I do that, but I've masked it. Excuse me. Difficulty understanding sarcasm and idioms. Yes, I can tell you I'm going to tell you some stories about some situations where now, as I go back and look at it, I should have picked up on this. And I feel like an absolute idiot that I didn't, but I literally didn't. And it's one of the reasons that I don't get along with big groups of guys, right? Old, manly men that, that like to get together and be men. Because there's so much innuendo. There's so much sarcasm in there that I just don't like. I don't get it. I don't like, I can't and I'll say something that's uncomfortable and it's like, it's really hard to do. So, a lot of difficulty understanding sarcasms. We think black and white. So, lack of inflection when speaking. Now, you'll hear in my voice that I sound like, I was told one time, not that this is about me, this is about you. I'm only sharing my experiences because I'm hoping that it will help someone. But I was told when I was younger by a woman by the name of Joan Anderson, I think was her name, Joan Crawford, Joan Anderson, something real common like that. Joan Collin, Joan. Anyway, she's still out there. But I remember she used to say I was Carlton the doorman.
I just wanted to let you know that I'm no longer your doorman. I have been terminated.
What?
Because I would, on the phone, that's how I sounded. Now, if you go back and listen to Carlton the doorman, maybe I'll splice in a video of that here. But very monotone voices, not a lot. And I try to add reflection like I just did right there. And it's important to do that when you speak. And those are learned behaviors of mine. Those are things that I had to teach myself to do. I have to force myself. I have to think about that. If I'm just speaking, it's very monotone. Limited interest in only a few activities. I have a lot of interest in a few activities. I don't know for sure what they're getting at here, but if that means something to you, that's important. So limited interest in only a few activities. To me, I think the activities piece is different for everyone. I've learned to enjoy golf. I love to golf. I am a very introverted type of person in a lot of ways, in that I like my time alone. And I'm also very in need of social interaction, and I find myself in social situations when that time is right. So that's what I would say about activities. Next one is preference for solitary activities. Golf, although that might not be your bag of tea, is a solitary activity. It's you on the grass and the club, and you making decisions and executing poorly. So basically, it's a spoiled walk in the grass for me. But it's a solitude, and so that's something that solitary activities are very important for me because I can. There's less stimuli that I have to understand or process, and it's me and what I'm doing in it, and I enjoy it. This next one is a big one. This one is problems reading the emotions of others. So this is something that's current for me. And it's something that has happened many, many, many times in my life. So when you look at emotions of others, what you're talking about is emotional intelligence. Let me rephrase that. What that is emotional intelligence, which most people with ASD have emotional intelligence. It's just we don't know how to deploy it. And so when emotion is shown in an obscure or a way that's not really easily detected, and even if it is strong, it could be strongly detected. I just don't see it. And it's horrible. That's something that I'm going to be working on the second half of my life, is how to make that different, how to change that, or how to work within that, how to understand that better. So I'll just leave that there. Problems reading the emotions of others basically ends relationships. It ends relationships. It ends family relationships, romantic relationships, work relationships. When you don't understand people's emotions without them telling you straight out, it makes for a very, very obstacle-ridden path in front of you. And you don't even know it, and you just barrel right through them. It's like, wait a minute. Why is she mad at me? What? I don't understand. What did I do? It's always you. You're always da-da-da-da. That's how it goes when you're younger. Okay, so now we are at, so we had problems reading the emotions of others. Now we're going to go to trouble understanding facial expressions and body language, reliance on daily routines, and difficulty dealing with change. Pardon me, please. Okay, that's a lot packed into one. So trouble understanding facial expressions. Do you have trouble understanding facial expressions? If someone is sad or if someone's happy or whatnot. I'm actually an expert at reading faces. It's just one of the skills and talents that I have. I don't equate those into emotions. That's my problem. So body language, I don't do body language. I mean, I do it because I was taught that body language is important. I was taught that, how you move your hands, or if you do move your hands, or if how you move around the room, and eye contact and moving around. And I learned all of that. So I do that to the best of my ability. Again, part of the mask. And I've had to do that for my career, but it doesn't come natural for me. So body language to me, I don't see it. And then body language, reliance on daily routines. I have to do everything the same every day. It's not all the way into what you would think an OCD person would be, where I literally have to go. I don't have like routines like that. But my mornings need to go generally the same way every morning, in order for me to kind of feel comfortable. If I get out of sorts in that series, or that process that I go through gets interrupted, it's just disrupting to me. It's not the end of the world, but it's very disrupting to me and can make for a very bad day. So daily routines are important, and then dealing with change. That can, that's a double-edged sword, right? So, or a catch-22. Some people deal well with change that have ASD, and some people don't. And I don't know if I understand that completely. I'm a change agent from a business perspective, but yet I personally can't deal with change. Shuts me down, just completely shuts me down. So the next one is repetitive behaviors. So this is different for everyone. So it doesn't mean like, a lot of people when they think ASD, and I'm saying this probably too late in the video, but a lot of people when they think ASD or autistic spectrum disorder, they oftentimes think that like Rain Man, like stuff like that, like savants. Like, I'm nowhere near a savant. I'm nowhere near like Rain Man. And the majority of people on the spectrum that are not diagnosed are also not like Rain Man. They're like me and you, because we were missed because of our age, because of our we just medically didn't get in the way of treatment or diagnosis when we were younger. In my case, growing up in the 60s, there were no resources in schools to understand what it was that I was dealing with, so I was just dealt with that way. So, don't think that ASD is like Rain Man. It's not. As a matter of fact, that's unfortunate that autism is given that name, both for those people that are autistic like that and have those symptoms, and then also for the majority of people that would like to discover what the heck is wrong with me. Why can't I keep a relationship? Why can't I keep a job? Why are my finances in absolute turmoil? Why is my family always mad at me? Why am I always mad at my family? Why am I always arguing with people? Why do I get in arguments at work? All those things. And after a while, you begin to you begin to understand those things. So it's not just Rain Man. Keep that in mind. It could be you, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with this. But not everyone has repetitive activities, repetitive behaviors. I rub my feet together. Okay? It's weird. I just will rub. I'm doing it right now. I'm rubbing my toes together. I don't wear shoes. I live in Southern California, so I never wear shoes. And I rub my toes together. I cross my feet and I rub my toes together. If that's a repetitive behavior, then so be it. All right, so social anxiety, big one. And I'm going to try to end this on the half hour. Social anxiety is a big one. You may find yourself completely avoiding social situations, and you may find yourself craving social situations. Either way, if you have anxiety around different types of or different situations that are social in nature, that's important to pay attention to. And for me, I can go in and put my mask on and be in a room in Malibu above the ocean looking at art with all the stars in LA. I could do that. And I could feel comfortable doing it, right? But that's with my mask on. And I am so early in my diagnosis that I don't know what I look like under this mask, frankly. So I'm not sure I wouldn't have tremendous social anxiety if I didn't have this mask. So it's going to be interesting for me peeling this mask off and looking what's behind it as I go through my journey to discover how ASD has affected my life. But anxiety when it comes to social situations is one of the behaviors, one of the symptoms of Asperger's, of ASD. We don't call it Asperger's anymore. Okay, trusted source abilities in a particular field, such as trusted source mathematics or other disciplines. Basically, what this one's saying is you're kind of smart. You've got something that you do really well. And that tests out. So that one's a black or white. And not everyone has it. Not everyone on the spectrum is a trusted source. Trusted source just means that you are an expert at that particular discipline and that people seek you out for advice or answers. And if you are a trusted source, you might want to think about that. Why am I a trusted source? What is my background, my history, my education? Why do I do this better than anyone else does this? And then the last one is the need to arrange items in a specific order. Again, not everyone does that. Everyone can do it at different degrees. I do it in my bathroom with my toothbrush, my toothpaste, my deodorant, my contact lenses, and my prescriptions for the morning. So when I have an orderly life, in other words, I'm living in the same place for a long time or staying in the same place for a long time if I'm in a hotel, traveling for work or whatever, I will put my things in that order and then I will operate them from that order. So that's what I do. And then there are other things that I need to have in certain order. But I hope this is helpful. There are 18 pieces: difficulty making conversation, difficulty making or maintaining close friendships, discomfort during eye contact, challenges with regulating emotions, extreme interest in one particular topic, frequent monologues on the same subject or subjects, hypersensitivity to sounds or smells that do not seem to bother others, involuntary noises such as repetitive throat clearing, difficulty understanding sarcasm or idioms, lack of inflection when speaking, limited interest in only a few activities, preference for solitary activities, problems reading the emotions of others, trouble understanding facial expressions and body language, reliance on daily routines, and difficulty dealing with change, repetitive behaviors, social anxiety, trusted source abilities, and the need to arrange items in a specific order. And those are very, very basic. So I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Hit the subscribe button. Let's create some content and let's create a space where we can